Welcome to a Loud and Lifted Quick Lift, the shorter episode where we take a few of the biggest takeaways from the full Loud and Lifted conversation and make them a little bit more practical. And today we're talking about my conversation from Rachel Druckenmiller. Rachel is known for helping people get unmuted, which obviously is very aligned with Loud and Lifted. We love a woman who wants people to stop holding back. But this conversation took a different, more personal direction than what she normally talks about. Rachel shared the story of being hit by a truck 6 years ago while she was out for a run. She suffered a spinal fracture, and recovery was not just physical, it was emotional, mental, and it changed how she trusted her body. It changed how she moved through the world. What really stuck with me is that Rachel just didn't think her way back to confidence. She literally built her way back through lifting, through movement, through showing up when she was scared, through working with people who helped her believe she could do more than she thought. And I think that's such an important lesson because we talk about confidence a lot, like all the time. And it's not something you can just magically have. Like, just be confident. Okay, great. Super helpful. But we all know that's not how it works. Confidence is built. And in Rachel's case, it was built one rep at a time. So here were the 3 big takeaways from that conversation. Takeaway number 1, confidence is really self-trust. Rachel shared something in the episode that I loved. She said confidence comes from this idea of trusting fully. And that makes so much sense because confidence is not just walking into a room with great posture and a good outfit, although let's be clear, those things help. But real confidence, it's deeper than that. It's asking, do I trust myself? Do I trust myself to keep going when something is hard? Do I trust myself to recover if something does not go perfectly? Do I trust myself to do what I said I was going to do? After Rachel's accident, she did not trust her body the same way. And of course she didn't. She had been through something traumatic. She was scared to move, scared to hurt again, and scared to push too hard. So when she started lifting, it was not glamorous. It was not some dramatic comeback montage. It was small weights, shaky arms, tears in training sessions, and a lot of fear. But then she kept showing up anyway. And that is where confidence started to be rebuilt. Not because she felt amazing right away, but because she kept proving to herself, I can do this. And that applies to all of us. Hopefully your thing is not lifting after an accident, but maybe it's speaking up in a meeting or setting a boundary or applying for the job, starting the business. Maybe it's walking into a room where you felt completely out of place. We want confidence first, but usually confidence comes after the proof. Action item, pick one small promise you can keep to yourself this week. One. Not a full personality transplant, not like I'm changing my whole life by Monday. Just pick something simple. A 10-minute walk, a 1 workout, going to bed 30 minutes earlier, sending the email, making the appointment, asking for help. The point is not that the action has to be huge. The point is that you do what you said you were going to do. That is how self-trust gets built. Takeaway number 2, strength changes how you show up. One of my favorite parts of the conversation was when Rachel talked about how getting physically stronger changed how she carried herself. And I mean literally. She talked about a stronger core, stronger back, stronger glutes, and how that changed the way she walked into a room. It's making me change how I'm sitting here right now, actually, thinking about it. But I love this because sometimes we get a little weird about women caring about fitness, clothes, hair, appearance, all of it. There's this tension of, well, it shouldn't matter how you look. And sure, that's fine. In a perfect little world with no mirrors and no social media photos, maybe. But the real point, it's not vanity. The point is how you feel. When you feel stronger, you show up differently. When you feel good in your body, you speak differently. When you are proud of yourself, you carry that into the room. Rachel even shared that someone once told her she had main character energy, which I love because that's exactly what we're talking about. It's not arrogance, it's just presence. The difference between walking in a room apologetically and walking in like you know you have something to offer, for women, that matters because a lot of us have been taught to shrink. And then, of course, there's the whole be confident, but not too confident, be polished, but not intimidating, be strong, but not difficult. Have opinions, but maybe soften them with 6 exclamation points and a just checking. It's exhausting, truly. Rachel's story is such a good reminder that strength does not stay in the gym. It follows you to work, conversations, leadership, into the way you ask for what you need. Action item this week, notice how you're physically showing up. Not in a judgmental way, not in a go critique yourself in every window reflection assignment. Please don't. Just notice. Do you walk into rooms like you belong there? Do you sit like you have something to contribute? Do you rush when you speak? Do you apologize before you even make the point? Do you make yourself smaller without even realizing it? Evaluate that and then pick one small physical cue. Maybe it's planting your feet before you speak, sitting up a little taller, sitting at the table, taking a breath before you answer. Stop starting every sentence with sorry. Sometimes your body has to lead before your brain catches up. Takeaway number 3, you don't rebuild alone. This was probably the part of the conversation I loved most. Rachel talked about her trainer, her husband, her vocal coach, her producer, her friends, all these people who played a role in helping her rebuild. And she used the phrase borrowing belief. This is really good because sometimes you don't have enough of belief in yourself. You are not there. You cannot fake it. Sometimes you need someone else to say, yes, you can, until you believe it too. Rachel's trainer did just that for her. She helped create a safe place for Rachel to try her things again. And Rachel trusted her enough to borrow that belief. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. And this connects to something we talk about all the time on Loud and Lifted. No one is doing this alone. No one. Not the strongest woman you know, not the most successful woman you follow, not the person who looks like she has everything figured out. And Rachel said something that really hit me. Earlier in her life, she had to practice asking for help. She used to believe asking for help would make people think she was weak or incapable. And I think so many women can understand that. We are great at helping. We will organize the thing, we will send the text, we will bring the food and check on everyone while carrying the invisible load. And somehow we remember someone else's kid needs a white shirt by Thursday. But asking for help ourselves, suddenly we're all, no, I'm fine. Are we though? Rachel's point was that people who love you want to help you, but they cannot support what they do not know. Action item, ask yourself this: whose belief do I need to borrow right now? Maybe it's a coach, trainer, friend, mentor, therapist. Maybe it's a group of women who will let you talk yourself out of that thing you said you wanted. Then do one thing. Send the text, book the session, ask the question, say it out loud, tell someone when you're stuck. You do not have to make a dramatic announcement. This does not have to be a TED Talk in your group chat. Just let one person in. This is how support starts. So to recap, Rachel's story gave us 3 big reminders. First, confidence is self-trust. It is built by keeping promises to yourself, even small ones. Second, strength changes how you show up. When you feel strong, capable, and grounded, the energy goes with you in every room. And third, you do not rebuild alone. Borrow belief, ask for help, let someone support you before you hit the wall. And here's the line I keep coming back to. You don't have to wait for confidence. You have to build it. One rep, one walk, one conversation, one promise, one ask for help, one small step back to yourself. Rachel's story started with something traumatic, but the lesson is not only for people who have been through a major accident. It's for anyone who feels stuck, anyone who feels disconnected from herself, or anyone who's been waiting to feel ready. Anyone who needs to stop thinking about the comeback and start taking the first step. And that is what Loud and Lifted is all about. Getting louder, getting stronger, getting lifted, and not doing it alone. If this resonated with you, go listen to the full conversation with Rachel. It's a powerful, personal, and such a good reminder that confidence is not something we say. It is something we build. Thanks for listening to this quick lift. Until next time, stay loud and stay lifted.